cameras up and going. Yesterday's race winner, Peter Major. So timing showing red flag still. And we'll be queuing them up behind the safety car to go back to racing conditions.
The time has started counting down, so 22 minutes, 17 seconds. So I'd say that red will disappear when we go green, hopefully.
Well, we had a green flag waving from the flag stand to get the drivers back
so
underway.
A little strange. Something's not relaying to timing at this point. But what you're seeing on your screen is what we're seeing here, other than a big red line across the top. So we'll keep an eye on that one.
Now, it's just gone 11 past 10 local time. Now, why is that important? Because that was when the pit stop window was due to open at 11 minutes past 10. So we'll see if they are going to alter that. Otherwise, you'd be coming in right now if you could, but they will move that. And they will give us an update as to when they'd move it. Because the obvious thing would be try and get that out of the way as quickly as you could with the safety car out there.
Absolutely. I mean, there could well be another one, but you don't really want to bank on that. So, gee, it's going to be interesting. It'll certainly change the complexity of this race. Very different race to yesterday.
This is going to be good. They're going to go back to racing, but they won't quite be sure when this pit stop window is going to open. So I like this because it means we really don't know how this is going to work out in terms of a race result. It usually would favour the drivers that have the shorter CPS time.
Yeah, correct, 100%. So those guys like Largo out in front, Tony Bates. So the race director is calculating, we believe, right now, the new pit stop window. That'll be communicated over the race management channel to the pit lane.
It's going to be from 10:18 to 10:26 local time, that is.
Okay.
So that'll be roughly 5.5 minutes away, in other words. Okay, let's
go
back to some racing action.
Yeah.
Because the real insurance safety car cam has pulled off, so we can actually commentate a race again, which is good news. Cam's Australian GT Championship, round 1, race 3 on the restart. Largo picking up the speed. Now remember, that car in second, Tony Bates, will have a shorter pit stop time. Now this is interesting. I wonder if Scott Taylor Motorsport got the memo for the new pit stop window, because they've come in on the old pit stop window.
Well, it's actually showing him in the lead at the moment too, so I think the timing's just as confused because he's come through the lane. So nice start by Roger Largo and Tony Bates for that matter. He's gone with him.
Oh no.
And then out of the lane. So that's a strange one.
I wonder if they came in thinking the window was open, only to find out it was slammed shut with the curtains closed. Now Largo, turn 8, needs to build a 7-second lead over the Mercedes behind him, because that is the difference in their pit stops, which is quite a distance. Nearly 3 wide down at turn 9. Aggressive racing from Vanderlinde up the inside of Max Twig. He'll be on the outside for the next corner. Does Twig let him through? No. The Mercedes fights back. Cameron.
Yeah, the update on the 222, it actually picked up a puncture from the debris, so they had to change that over outside of the pit stop window.
Oh, that's a shame. Could have done that on the grid with the red flag had they known that it was there. Yeah. They mustn't have known it was happening until they got going again.
Could have been a slow leak.
Yeah.
But gee, it's just a lottery when there's that much carbon fibre shrapnel across the road. If you just happen to nick the corner of one, you puncture one of these slick tyres very, very easily. So car 5, Greg Taylor, Nathan Antunis, had a fairly up and down weekend, unfortunately, but great job to still have the car out circulating. Max Twig coming to grips with the Mercedes out of a BMW last year. So up to 19th at the moment.
I tell you who's really impressed me this weekend. The 44, here it comes, out the back of that pack just there. That's got Ash Walsh at the wheel. You'll see it, it's got Infant's Friend on the blue signage on the doors as well. And he has been fast this weekend. Look at this. Tim Macro trying to pick off the Audi star of Kelvin Vanderlinde. Vanderlinde covering on approach to turn 8. But that Lamborghini might have a bit more of a chance at the end of this long straight. And Tunis looks to the inside. Vanderlinde sticks his nose out. Spent a whole lap behind Twig.
So it just goes to show, doesn't it, that straight line speed of the Lamborghini, but you'd be very, very hard to outbrake an Audi. So the two different strengths of each car showing in one lap around here. on board with Liam Talbot, who's kept his nose clean all weekend. Nice consistent drive in the Walkinshaw Porsche.
Van der Linde trying to wheel that Audi around despite the damage after changing that puncture earlier. We had a new lap record set here this weekend, yesterday by Ash Walsh. Further to my point about how fast he's been so far. There goes the 44. The boys tell me he's been flat through turn 8 as he sticks up the inside there of the major Lamborghini. He gets picked off also by Fraser Ross.
Probably a smart move, though, when you look at the time difference. 10 seconds, Ash Walsh has to stop longer than Peter Major, as long as he stays in striking distance here.
So apparently, you'll see the OVO Mobile sign. Apparently that Audi is flat through here. Let's find out.
That's big. That just goes to show how much downforce an Audi R8 has.
That's
V8
brave.
Supercars a brake, Carrera Cup cars a light brake, but in a modern GT3 car with so much aerodynamic aid, here comes Tim Macro, driving very well this weekend under Max Twig.
So that was coming from Nathan Antunes and Elliot Barber, who have been working in this Audi camp this weekend. Antunes actually driving the Audis this weekend, saying that Walsh brave enough to hold it flat to the boards through turn 8.
You'd have to creep up on that as a driver. It's not something you do on your out lap, I can assure you. Might have a little left foot dab at the brake for a while. So a lot of, you've got to have a lot of trust in the grip of the car, but that's how aerodynamics work, you know? The faster you commit and the longer you commit to the throttle, the more grip the car has and the more trust that it gives you through the steering wheel as well.
Walsh has Bates in his sight. These two raced each other last year in Carrera Cup Australia. So too Fraser Ross, actually. Let's see if he can get him. Pit stop window will be very close to opening at the end of this lap. It'll open in 45 seconds time. So that'd be just about right at the pit entry when it opens. The other awkward thing is the pro-ranked driver, if you're in a pro-ranked team, which Fraser Ross is not allowed to drive for longer than 55% of the race. Does that include a red flag period or not include a red flag period? It's going to be tough to tell. Here comes Walsh up the inside. Bates wants to make him work for it, but the Audi goes through.
Good clean move, very, very late under brakes. Then Ash Walsh showing his recent supercar experience against Tony Bates. He's doing a great job in the Mercedes for the first time.
Now the window opens in 2 seconds, and they'll just miss that pit entrance. Now the window's open.
So we'll see a flurry of stops next time round. And you may even be better to wait a lap or two just to get a clear run in and out, particularly for Peter Major, who needs that clear run out, not having a clutch. So he might elect to go another lap or two.
Here comes the McLaren. Wow, Bates trying to hold on to every spot he can, but gets relegated. And this is helping Roger Largo. Oh, no, Ash Walsh off and down the escape road at turn 4. All that good work undone.
Yeah, and having to sit in the lane 10 seconds longer than any of those other cars around him. Just trying to find reverse. Sometimes you've got to come right off the clutch.
Still, this race has worked out better for James Kanduris than it did last year. That's not going to work on the inside of turn 8. The Kanduris car got absolutely destroyed in race 3 last year down at turn 9 on the opening lap. So it's not that bad at least. Wow, that's aggressive from Antunes. Just jam it down the inside and get it done.
I thought he was actually going to tag Bates then. He went in that deep, the car in front of Peter Major. So Ash Walsh is now half a lap behind, having just left the turn 4 escape road. Who's going to pit this time round? Oh, Bates, last minute call to go in. And Tunis nearly clipped the rear of him.
This is an Eggleston prepared car. Eggleston Motorsport looking the goods in Dunlop Super 2 this weekend, with the likes of some pretty handy drivers, including Paul Dumbrell this week and all year long for Eggleston Motorsport. Liam Talbot comes in, beautifully prepared, beautiful livery on this car, the Walkinshaw Porsche.
So he has 8 seconds longer to stop than Tony Bates. So a minute 7, 59 seconds for Tony Bates. So depending on what lap Largo punches out the next 2 laps, you would expect to see Tony Bates emerge in the lead for this one.
It's kind of like a modern-day handicap race that used to be quite popular back in the day, only they handicap them in the pit stops instead of at the start. Largo trying to open out a big lead. Got about 2 seconds on Fraser Ross. Driver change for the 73. Michael Hovey used to run in a Ginetta, stepping out of that car. Dan Gillison hopping in. Good to see Dan Gillison returning to motorsport this weekend. Still the movement net entry weights, but now is released. Tony Bates will go around for, sorry, I should say Roger Largo will go around for another lap. Left of screen, that's the leader.
Similar to yesterday's race where Bates emerged. Oh, he needs to get past him, which he does, because Bates will be on cold tyres. So Bates emerged a lap behind, but then obviously all evens out after the stop.
Should be pretty close because Roger Largo's pit stop time will be 1 minute and 6 seconds. Here goes Com Ledigar, the Frenchman. He leaps to action.
Good first stint, actually, by Fraser Ross. Carved his way through. Was very aggressive in some of those overtaking manoeuvres under brakes. Trying to get that car up as far as possible because a reasonable stop. Yeah, minutes 26.
Last year's race 3 winner, Tony Walls in the pits as well in the objective McLaren. So Largo, quite literally a whole lap ahead, right in front of Tony Bates. They're doing 1 minute 21s in this race. He's got a 1 minute 6 second pit stop. It'd be pretty close, but Bates probably will just get the job done here. Look at this for racing down at turn 9. Van der Linde in a hurry.
So if I was Peter Major, rather than getting distracted and having to lose time with Van der Linde, I'd come straight in now. Just get out of the way, get out of his way.
There you go.
And he does, because he's only going to lose time by letting the factory Audi driver through. Now this is where he now starts to think, how am I going to manage this? No clutch. It's going to be a tricky pit stop for Peter. Here we go. So will the car come to a crunching halt? No, he's pulled it up quite well. So he's got it into neutral quite easily. So all the way down on the left paddles, but you generally need the clutch from first to neutral. So he's been able to find neutral. And let's see how he goes getting a gear. Chris Doombas controlling him. So the engine's still running. Cade Bell from WA assisting as well. So he's starting to move to the rear of the car. No, they're going to let him try and get moving on his own here.
We've seen this car move off the grid slowly by itself on 2 occasions, so it should, in theory, be able to do it a 3rd time. Roger Largo, the right-hand side of our screen, still pushing hard. Will he come in on this lap? He's racing Tony Bates in the Mercedes, who's already had his stop, and yes, Largo dives to the lane. Pit stop window due to close in 2.5 minutes.
Look at the amount of lock trying to get in the lane for Roger Largo. So a couple of really tidy laps. Van der Linde 20.46. Here goes Major. He can't get out. And he slowly goes. Oh, no, I think he stalled it. So he's going now, but you'd say that's probably added another at least 6 or 7 seconds to his compulsory pit stop time. And there you go, there's Liam Talbot's been able to get through. So a couple of big laps required from Peter Major here with just under 9 minutes to go.
Race leader, checking the tyre pressures. He's got a 1 minute 6 second stop. Craig Baird will now be in the STM Stock Taylor Motorsport car. Now the JBS Lamborghini is racing against the Mercedes, who's already had the stop. Will it be able to come out of that pit lane in front of that beautiful Move It Net Merc, which has already been serviced? Must be an age to wait as he fires the Lamborghini back up. The V10's ready for action. Dave Russell at the front there, counting, letting Roger know a little bit longer.
Looking pretty casual there, breathing heavy, but away he goes.
A little wave, yeah, thanks, good job. Now then, does he get out in front of Tony Bates? That's the key here.
It's going to be very close. Just looking for Bates. There he is. Oh. So look at this, Bates is going to just sneak into the lead.
How close is that? 8 minutes to go in this race, and it is absolutely on at the front. Now the 222 ahead of them has now got Craig Baird behind the wheel. but not in front of these two cars in the order. So he's out of position here, actually looking like going a lap down if he's not careful, but Bates probably won't try and lap Craig Baird. Baird should be able to drive away from them. Well, this is absolutely on at the front, Cameron.
Ash Walsh fresh out of the car. We saw you run on under brakes. Was there a problem with the car?
Yeah, it's been a couple of times this weekend where I've had an ABS lockout. Basically what happens is it thinks that it's locking up really bad and it won't downshift. So it was stuck in 5th gear. I couldn't go down, and obviously that runs you on. Every time you push the gear lever, it's like putting the throttle on. So it just pushes you forward in the brake zone. So a little bit disappointing. We've had a really good weekend up until this point. MPC have done a great job for James and I, and thanks to Superbar and Infant's friend for making this all happen.
2 more questions for you. Are you flat through turn 8, and do you smile every time you do it?
I don't think I smile, but yeah, it's flat through turn 8. It's very fast. The car has got great downforce, so just trying to utilise that. And to get a run on these guys in the Rexes, man, you need to go flat through 8.
Thanks, Ash.
Cheers.
He's referring to Lamborghini REXs, not
right.
Subaru WRXs, by the way. Now, the fight is on for the lead. The 222 car did a good job moving out of the way. Funny to see Craig Baird ever get lapped in a GT race. But
Yeah,
I think
not
he
ideal.
just thought doesn't want to be a part of this fight.
Roger Largo, this has been a great challenge for Roger Largo this weekend. He had Peter Major give him a run for his money yesterday. Now he's got Tony Bates. So there's just two, call them amateur drivers, but they've now got a lot of experience and they're just driving. Oh, Bates has just gone in a bit deep there, but they're driving so well now with 4 or 5 solid seasons in either GT or Carrera Cup under their belt. It's been great to watch the progress. Look at the speed of the Lamborghini in a straight line, which is exactly what Ash Walsh was referring to. In fact, if anything, it hurt him a little bit. Got a bit too close going into turn 8.
Oh, tight on brakes. So a bit of an update. We saw the BMW pull up on the first lap. They have another electrical gremlin, a different one to the one that's been hampering him this weekend. So hopefully they can get that car sorted. There's Dave Russell watching on. Has a Carrera Cup podium at this track in the past. And let's just see if he's going to get on the radio to Roger. So he's talking to the driver in the Lamborghini, coaching him through. Now the Lamborghini is a faster car in a straight line, especially with the new restrictor that this Mercedes is running. So could have the power to get by.
Oh, she's thrown it through there. No curb strike that I can see on the timing here, but very aggressive. So the Mercedes, as you mentioned, and a little bit more ballast fitted to it too since the balance of performance results. She's really working that car hard, but Bates driving nice and tidy.
All right, Cam, put us in the seat of this Lamborghini right now. How do you get around that Mercedes?
You've got to be, I suppose, realistic and know that it's going to be point to point. So you've got to get the power on nice and early. You know you've got more horsepower, so you just don't, you know, the corners leading onto the straights are the ones you've just got to focus on. Slowing the car up, getting it turned. You're not going to match. He goes in really deep there. Probably hurts him a bit on the exit. But you've got to maximise that horsepower advantage. Oh, this is aggressive by Home Ledegar. Oh, that's close. Factory McLaren driver doesn't need to worry about paying the bills on that car.
Never in doubt, Cam.
Gee, a lot of mid-corner, carrying a lot of mid-corner entry speed. Oh, no. That's Greg Taylor in the wall.
It's had a rough weekend, the number 5. Should be able to get out of this position, hopefully, if it's not done steering damage. They had to fix his car after a crash in race 1.
I think he might have got a helping hand there, just spat around very quickly.
Now, remember, the third car in frame here is not fighting for the lead. It's just the first two. That STM Mercedes is down a lap. So Talbot up the inside of Griffith.
Oh,
that made
between the two. Then Taylor went underneath, and it made contact there. And what's happened? Oh, he's just gone around the front of Liam Talbot.
Whoa.
So this is on board with Liam Talbot in the 911 GT3R. So under brakes, went a bit of contact, so went in quite deep and ran wide. He's in the wrong gear. Now he goes down a gear, and then I think Greg Taylor may have just misjudged the front of Liam Talbot's car there. So he was actually in second. And see how he's just sort of, there's nothing really Talbot could do. He was going along in a straight line. And unfortunately, Greg Taylor might have just turned in a smidgen too early and just tag the front right of that 911.
They could have been much, much bigger. Could have been disastrous for both those cars, but they got away with it. Now then, Largo all over the back of the Mercedes.
So this is the battle for the round win as well. At the moment, Bates on 189 points, Largo 180, and Peter Major on 161.
Oh.
So whoever wins this race will leave here leading the Australian GT Championship.
This is high-stakes stuff. Barely a couple of laps left in this one. The lower-ranked drivers have had a weekend to remember with the safety cars coming out before the compulsory pit stop times. It's really helped those lower-ranked drivers to run at the front of the field. Just rolling out of the gas before turn 8. Needs to get a good exit, draw close. We've seen how deep he can go under brakes. Oh, that's where he got passed for the lead yesterday. So trying to pull the same move that cost him race 2. It's almost contacted the exit there as well, Cam.
He's really braking a lot later in this race. I don't know if Dave Russell has tuned him up a bit. Oh, Bates gets a little bit taily. Largo's got a good run here. He's going to try the over and under. He won't be quite close enough.
Oh, Bates putting that car right in the middle of the road at the approach of the Adelaide hairpin. And this will be probably the penultimate lap then. Not a lot of time left. If Roger Largo wants this win.
Beto decides I'll get a bit closer and have a little look. He's got the headlights on, but that might distract Roger Largo a bit. He needs to not even look in the mirror.
It's David Russell coaching Roger Largo in that Lamborghini.
Staying pretty calm, really, but as a driver, he'd be frustrated because he probably knows what needs to happen. And there's only so much coaching you can do through a two-way radio.
So he'll have 2 more attempts at turn 9, 2 more attempts at the last corner. But Bates does get out of turn 7 quite well, which means he can open up a little bit of a lead, which he then uses to hold on to that point of the field down at turn 9. Largo wide.
Got a lot of understeer, actually, so again, just perhaps asking a bit too much of the front tyre. You know, too much ABS will actually cause push or overload that front tyre. So that's braking so late, the car now just doesn't want to turn.
So the clock ticking down to 0. That means the next time by should be the last lap. Largo really strong down there as well. Can Tony Bates hang on? He's won 10 out of the last 11 races that he's competed at this venue. 9 in Carrera Cup and 1 in the GTs. Let's go through over the curves.
Oh, nice exit for Tony Bates there. Just slowed it up and got a really good slingshot out of the corner. He knew he'd be vulnerable up here. So you can see how much bumps and ABS and squeaking of the brakes on the Lamborghini. Perfectly normal with the pad material, the race brakes. Really working hard. He needs to get a nice clean run out of here, Roger Largo. See that Tony Bates driving the car, very different style. So really squaring the corner off, slowing the car up, trying to get maximum traction. And he's certainly closer here. He's in the toe. This is the closest he's been on the exit of 8. But probably a bit too far back.
Oh, now Bates almost understeers wide at the exit of turn 9. Is Largo close enough? With about 4 corners to go. We've got a grandstand finish for the last of the GT races here this weekend. Very close indeed. One last corner for Tony Bates to hang on, and Largo has a real look.
Oh, Bates closed the door at the last minute, didn't he? Nice drive though, Tony Bates.
Great racing, side by side of the finish line. Bates wins it by a 10th. Gee, Largo got really close at the finish line. I just wonder if Bates hit the limiter, trying to shift gears. Meanwhile, Tony Walls will get home for 3rd, first of the McLarens. Pete Major should be 4th. Talbot hanging on for 5th despite getting involved with a bit of a scuffle. Oh, man, Roger Largo can take a breather. 2nd again. A few of those here this weekend. Now, what happened here to Tony Bates? Because he was fairly clear of him, and then Largo just came out of nowhere and nearly picked his pocket.
He actually slowed up, I think, to wave to the Eggleston Motorsport boys, but I don't know if he'd want to slow up much more. 0.1 of a second. But well done, Tony Bates. 2 out of 3 this weekend. He wins the round on 189 points from Largo. Pete Major, 4th on the results, but 3rd overall. Liam Talbot, Combe Lediger, Michael Hovey, Mark Griffith, Jeff Emery, and Ash Samadi. A good job for him inside the top 10.
0.1 of a second, very close. We did have Al Simonson win a race here once by 0.06 of a second, so not quite the closest. For the round, it looks like this. Tony Bates will take the top step. 4th year in a row that he has done that here, whether it be Carrera Cup or in the GTs. Great work. Major getting himself on the podium on debut. That is a huge effort as well. Cameron, thank you very much for your help here this weekend in the Australian GT Championship. Clipsal 500 going off. And